Hey everybody, AC 80's girl here with you, and if you can't tell who I'm talking about today, you soon will find out. Love Labyrinth. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about the Wuzzles, Adventures with the Gummy Bears, and the Get Along Gang. So these are just a small collection I have. That's why we're doing 3 in one episode of these characters that you probably, I would hope, remember from the 80's. They were mainly all around 83 to 85, and so on to this day of the characters. So we're going to start real quick with the Wuzzles. Now, the Wuzzles were a little more short-lived than the others. They were from Disney. Disney's the Wuzzles. And the Wuzzles and the Adventures of the Gummy Bears both premiered on the same day, September in 1985, to see how they would do. And it looked like the Gummy Bears picked up more, about 4 seasons, and these guys only got about 1 or 2. So they didn't last very long. I would say about a year, and then they just had reruns. So anyway, the Wuzzles. So with the Wuzzles, they lived on the Isle of Wuz, and they were hybrids, if you couldn't tell, of 2 different animals. Now, they more made the plush stuffed animals here, or a little larger than the Care Bear miniatures size as well. So these are the 2 sizes that I've seen out there. Again, I just picked these up recently from Goodwill or wherever I found them. So the one I have here is Bumble Lion, and Bumble Lion is a bumblebee and a lion. He was probably one of the main ones that you would see out there. This is giant long tail, little wings, and he looks like a bumblebee and a lion. So that's Bumble Lion. There was Rhino Key, Elru, Mussel, Hippopotamus, and then this is Butter Bear. Butter Bear is a bear and a butterfly. So there's a little antenna. Again, I'm sorry, I don't really remember them too much, but so I don't know who was a boy or a girl. But Butter Bear was probably a girl with the butterfly wings. And these are actually really soft, just attached. So nothing really moved or talked. This is just a plush bear. And they each had the hard plastic eyes. So, and then with most things, they always had some bad guys or a villain of some kind. And they had, and a lot of those were like Crocosaur, Tycoon, Frizzard, which was a frog and a lizard, Brat, which was a wild boar and a dragon. And then they added on a little, like a baby Wuzzles and some other things for around there. So, the other thing that I have here, this is Hippopotamus. It's a hippo and a rabbit. For some reason, it has wings. I think a lot of them had wings. I'm not sure why. But this is Hippopotamus. Okay? So maybe you can see why it was kind of short-lived. I'm not sure. So anyway, if you see these, you know these are the Wuzzles. Don't confuse them with Care Bears because they are a mix of 2 hybrid animals. Okay? So that is the Wuzzles. Now next you had Disney's Adventures of the Gummy Bears. And that's pretty much what I remember over when you started watching the Gummy Bears was that. And then they also had the song that I'm not going to get into, but it'll stick in your head. So if you want to look that song up, I can't sing it. I did before, and my husband was just like, be quiet, I'm going to be singing it forever. So look up the song. So the Gummy Bears were the same, like I said, the same day as the Wuzzles that came out, and they actually have 4 seasons from 85 to 91, so that's pretty good. It goes into this whole story of they're more like in medieval times, time frame Renaissance, that type of thing. And they lived more in the forest. The Gummy Bears used to live side by side from humans, and then they started to become extinct and then rare to find, so the Gummy Bears had to hide out in the forest. And no one could ever find it. So they are hunted by hunters because of how rare they are. So they hide. They live in all of them live in a hollow tree, and that is filled with tunnels and rooms that they live in. So the Gummy Bears, there was only a few of them, and then they did have some friends that were human. So here I have Zummy Gummy, and Zummy Gummy was the keeper of Gummy wisdom, who wore a medallion, and he read from the magic book. This is how they would hide and things like that. I have a few Zummies, and they had different sizes, so you could find a plush one here. Might be a little larger than this. Was another plush I've seen. A large PVC plastic. This is from Fisher Price. It said it's a little worn off a bit, but that Zummy is as well, and his little cape actually was attached. And then the hard PVC here. So there was a set that you could get as well of the Gummy Bears. So these are all Zummy. There was also Sunny, which was the girl. The yellow bear is the girl. There was Grammy. That seemed like she was always yelling. So they made a PVC for yelling with a rolling pin. And then they had Tummy. Tummy was a round bear who was considered the overweight one and liked food. He was a large and more brown, which I have stickers right here. And he had a red hat. There was two of their friends there that were human. The other one I don't have is Gruffy. Gruffy was, of course, like a grump kind of bear. And then I have Cubby, which Cubby was the little pink bear, the littlest of them all. And I have two different ones of him. He's more a little purple in this PVC, and then he's really more of a pink here in this PVC here. So that's all of them. They did add Augustus, I read later. I guess he was like stranded on some island and they found him. And then of course they, like I said, they have hunters who are villains. Now the main thing with the Gummy Bears, which is funny, is that they actually made gummy berry juice, if you remember. So the gummy berry juice that they only knew the exact recipe for, which was a magic potion they gained that had them gain abilities to be able to bounce away from hunters. So they'd be able to jump from buildings. As long as they took the potion, they could jump from buildings and be able to bounce away without splattering on the ground. So that would have been, traumatic experience for us to watch. So, they gave them some potion. So they did say if somebody got the potion wrong, some other bad effects would happen if they got them wrong. So it's kind of funny. So if you ever want to get into watching the Gummy Bears again, it was a fun show. It's probably a good show to have, your kids watch or just watch again. So that is the Gummy Bears, and you saw my stickers there. So we have the Wuzzles. And then the one other thing I wanted to talk about, because I just have a little bit of some things, is the Get Along Gang. Now, Hallmark, I'm not sure who was first, but it kind of looked like Hallmark had the earlier stages of them. But Hallmark made greeting cards with the shirt tails, if you remember the shirt tails, which I don't have. Now, the shirt tails were just little animals like raccoons, foxes, and if you can look them up on eBay or images, you'll find the shirt tails. And usually they are just little animals. They had a shirt on, and it had some inspiring words on it, like great job, way to go, blah, blah, blah. So they would have, Hallmark made cards, they made books, and then they also had stickers. And I do remember getting some stickers in my sticker book from them at one point, and also like maybe your teacher put it on your homework, if you did good, that is, back in the day, because that's what they were. They were encouraging words on those. So that was the shirt tails through Hallmark. So American Greetings in 1983 created the Get Along Gang. Now the Get Along Gang, they started in cards and books, and then they spawned into cartoon series on Saturday mornings, which Saturday mornings back in the day were great. I try to watch cartoons with my son on Saturdays, and it's nothing on that I can find. It's the same old junk. So Saturday mornings back in the kid, I just loved it. I would probably be on the TV, watching TV way too much, but what are you going to do? So anyway, there were 12 total Get Along Gang members, and then very later they added 2 more, so there was 14. They did start off with, there were 6 main characters for the Get Along Gang. They all lived in Green Meadow, and they started a club that met in an abandoned train caboose. So they were in their red caboose, if you could probably see in pictures and stuff. That's where they met, and then there was 13 episodes of them from 84 to 85, and that was it. So it's probably a little short-lived on that as well. I have 9 here, so I will show you what I do have. I know they made the PVCs, and they also, I think, made, which I think I have a clips from another episode, but they make those little stuffed animal clips that will clip to your pencil, or anything clips to your folder, clips. So they made a ton of those, stuffed plush, little PVCs, and they also have, I saw a commercial on YouTube of one of them in skates. So there's a plush that will actually wear skates, and you can skate them along. So they did make a few of those, so that's cool. All right, so the first one that was the iconic one for the Get Along Gang is Montgomery Moose. Montgomery Moose, he's wearing his blue varsity sweater with the M on it, and he was Montgomery Good News Moose. So again, they had all these different episodes with teaching friendship, and teamwork. All of them had different characteristics, just showing how all of them could get along Get Along Gang. So that's really good to see. And the next one they had was Dottie Dog, like a little cheerleader. Then we had Wilma Lamb. Wilma Lamb was more like, you know, little girl ballerina. Then we have Zipper Cat, which is more of the athletic cat. And this is the one I saw in the commercial that had skates on as a larger plush. It's kind of funny. And then we have Portia Porcupine. Portia Porcupine. And then I have, these are original 6. The last 6th one is Bingo Beaver. So Bet It All Beaver. So this is Bingo Beaver, okay? So these were the original 6. Oops, I just dropped one. And they added another 6. I only have 3 from the next 6. So they had Breaker Turtle, which I don't have, Bernice Bear, and then Lolly Squirrel. I have Rocco Rabbit here. Rudyard Lion, which I read was a foreign exchange student. And then I have Floor, Forget-Me-Not Fox. Okay? Then the last 2 that made it 14 were Hocus and Pocus, which was Hocus Hare and Pocus Possum. And they were both a pair of magicians. So that made it a total of 14. And of course with the Get Along Gang, as the other episodes of any cartoon series or anything these days, they always seem to have a villain. Their villain, of course, was a crocodile, which was Ketchum Crocodile. And I think they later added a Leland Lizard. So again, I'm just telling you what I remember, what I've read up. You can definitely look it up yourself. I'm not claiming to know everything. So this is just giving me some enjoyment, reminiscing about, you know, back in the 80s. So again, these are all from like 83 to 85 that they came out. So there was a lot of different ideas and things coming out at that time just to compete, you know, with Care Bears and all those other things that were coming out. So I hope you enjoyed this. I have a lot more to go. Cabbage Patch Kids is probably coming up. I have so many of those to go over. Oh my gosh. It's probably going to take me a few episodes to get through the Cabbage Patch Kids. I do have Rainbow Brights, Popples. I do have a lot of those. So stay tuned. Definitely subscribe if you like what you see. I'm still trying to figure out my wonky camera, so forgive me on a lot of the videos here. So hope you liked it. Stay tuned.